yeah. Hey. What is up, Double L gang? It's your girl Lay, and I am back with another video. Yes, I'm back. I'm not here in the flesh. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. I'm gonna give everybody about 5 seconds. If you're not subscribed, so go ahead and join the gang and let's get lit. So here we go. 5, 4. Oh, my nails is ratchet, y'all. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you. And as y'all can tell from the title, it was a very hard day. But I'm just gonna put a disclaimer out here for you guys. Colombia was beautiful when I went to Cartagena, Colombia. It was actually so fucking beautiful and so amazing. It was a great experience. It was awesome people, amazing food. So I don't want to take that away from it, but this day, it was the first day we got there, and my nigga, I wanted to go home so bad. So if you're ready for this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Hey, all right, and then let's get into this video. All right, guys, so I'm gonna get into this video for you guys. It was very traumatizing. It was, I'm not gonna lie, act like it wasn't. So the first day we get to Colombia, me and my bestie, it is her birthday, so she's like, oh, I want to go to Colombia. So I'm like, okay, the country, never been out the country. First time out the country, yes, 23 and first time out the country, but it's okay though. So I'm like, cool, let's go, let's do it. So we land, we get there, it's so pretty, everything. Mind you, first off, when we're on the plane, we were drinking. First of all, I've never got drunk on the plane, but that is like one of the best feelings ever. Like, it feels amazing, and you get drunk faster, and the drunk is a different type of drunk. It's like the drunk. So that was awesome. When we get there, you know, we put our bags down, we're about to go get something to eat. So we go into this little the walled city in Cartagena. So it's like a whole bunch of little shops and areas, you know, everybody out there hustling, trying to make their dollars. You know, I fuck with it, I get it, I got it, you good or whatever. So we went to this little bar, we had some food, took some shots, took some drinks, you know what I'm saying, getting a little wavy. And so we were actually waiting on one of our friends. She was actually supposed to come at the same time with us, but ended up missing her flight, so she wasn't able to come and arrive until like 12 a.m. rather than coming with 12 p.m. I can't even speak, y'all. 12 p.m. with us. So we were just kind of waiting around for her. We didn't want to really do too much and then explore too much without her, you know. Oh, and then let me draw you back in real quick. First of all, my card didn't work in Colombia at all. It didn't work. I couldn't get money out. Mind you, I've never been out of the country. They should have told me. Well, one of my friends told me, like, oh, you should take money out. But I was like, oh, I'll just get money out when I'm there. Blah, 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 blah. Dumb decision, because my card, it's an online card. It's a Chime account. And they do not service in Colombia. So I couldn't do nothing with my card. So but that was fine. You know, I just cashed out my friend some money. Whenever she was able to take out money, you know, we just took out the money. So we're eating, we're laughing, we're playing. They're playing our song, Cuanta la Mela. Aida cuanta la mela. But yeah, and so we're just jamming, we're just having a great, awesome time. And then we walked around the little city for a little bit, and we found this like nice little bay, like boardwalk area. It was beautiful. It was like glistening, and then it had little lights going around, and it was cool. So I'm like, hey, you know, let's just sit right here. So we sit right there, and we're like, damn, we want some treat. And we're like, I don't know if it's legal here, like, you know, I don't know if we can do that here. So like, you know, we weren't pressed at first. So then we met these guys on the street, and they're like, hey, my name's Juan Carlos, my name's Juan Pablo, something Pablo. And he was like, and I got a squiz of cocaine. I'm like, oh nah, baby, we don't do that, And we're like, do you have weed? And he was like, yeah, I have weed. He was like, you're gonna have to come to my office though. We're like, yeah, no, we're not coming to nobody's office, none of that. So we're like, but they were pretty cool though. They were really cool, they were really nice. They weren't on no like crazy psycho stuff or nothing like that. So then we go sit by the boardwalk again. So we're like, yo, let's talk to them, let's see if they'll give us some drink, you know what I'm saying. So then I'm like, no, I don't want to ask them, like, no. So mind you, people in Colombia, they barely speak English, like barely, especially at the part that we were at. They barely spoke. Hi Mariah. Say hello, YouTube. Say hello, YouTube. You don't want to say it? No? No? Okay. Alright, so we're like, no, I don't talk to them. So nobody really speaks English right there. Like, it's different if we went to like Bogota. They would probably speak English. That's the capital, you feel me? But this is like more of a country island type of area, you know. They're not really hip to speaking English like that. So a lot of people didn't really speak English. So that was another downfall, because of course we're not Spanish speakers, and we should be. We know little stuff here and here, and you kind of can hear some stuff that you could kind of put together to make sense and stuff like that. So the crazy thing is, we're just sitting there, so we're just vibing out, and one of the guys ended up walking over to us and was like, oh, trying to sell us this Colombian beer. There's this beer in Colombia. I don't like beer, but whatever. This beer in Colombia, and they were like, he was like, oh, you want to buy? And we're like, no, we're good, but do you have weed? You got the trees, hello trees. And he was like, oh, he can find some, but basically he said like, oh, I can find somebody for you who got it. Like, he was like, hold on 1 second, he'll be right back. So we're like, oh, okay, we're about to get some trees, girl. Okay, we're about to get some Colombian tree. So he actually ended up coming back with this guy, and this guy, he spoke more English than anybody we've met thus far. So he was just like, oh yeah, he was like, I lived in the Bronx or Brooklyn, one of those. He's like, I'm from New York, blah blah. Well, I'm not from New York, but I lived in New York, blah blah blah. So yeah, I can speak to y'all. And he was like, how much y'all want? And like, you know, in America, you just like, oh, I just want an aid, you know, a blunt or two. They were like, oh yeah, we don't do that here. And we're like, huh? He's like, you want a pound? You want a this? You want a that? I'm just like, huh? We're like, no, we just want to smoke like maybe 2 blunts, that's it. And he was like, he was talking to us for a little bit, we're conversing. He's like, I like y'all personality. So we was like, we just want 2 blunts, how much would that be? And he was like, okay, 2 blunts. And then we were like, yeah. He was like, okay, 500,000 pesos. And I think 500,000 pesos, if I'm not mistaken, is like $50-$60. Don't quote me, because I really can't remember right now, and when I finish this video I'll put it in here if I was wrong or whatever. But it's 50,000 pesos, so we're like, okay, cool, you know, whatever, because I think we already have 50,000 pesos on us, or is it it was either 50,000 pesos or 300,000 pesos or whatever. So we're like, okay, cool, we can do that. We're like, do you have something to roll it with? He was like, oh, I'll roll it for you. This is where we fucked up. Like, this is the moment that we fucked up, because it's like, first of all, we shouldn't have nobody rolling our blunts for us in a whole different country, a Colombian country at that, okay? Not saying there's anything wrong with Colombia, but hello, have you watched Narcos? You know, at that, you know what I'm saying? So that's where we fucked up. But we're like, okay, you want to roll it for us, whatever. At this point, we're just like, whatever, we're just trying to smoke some weed. We're already pretty much boozed up, you know what I'm saying? So we're just trying to level the plane. So he's like, okay. He was like, so he went away, and then he came back, and he ended up like rolling it or whatever he had, and had gave it to us. And you're like, oh, we're like, is it legal here to like smoke this? And he's like, oh yeah, you're good, this is my country, this is my city, this is my block, you know what I'm saying? Boasting it up like that. As long as you're not, he's like, basically he said, as long as you're not smoking it in like a public area, then you're good. If you're like on the side of the street, you know, vibing on your own, then you're good. So we're like, okay, cool. So we're sitting there smoking it, and we're like, you want to pay first? No, I don't think we had enough money. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go to the ATM first, and then we're gonna come back or whatever. And he was like, oh no, I love your personality, like I love it, I love you guys. No, we'll do it later, you don't even have to do all that. Another place where we fucked up. Like, that's where we fucked up, because you wouldn't even be able to do that shit here. Like, a nigga would be like, you cannot smoke this shit first and then try to pay me. No, it doesn't work like that, baby. So that's where we messed up too. So basically we're just there smoking it up, and then for some reason he gave us another blunt. So he was like, oh yeah, for you, I do for you, because I like you guys are so cool, I like you guys so much, blah 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 blah. So we're like, okay, like whatever. At this point we're just like, whatever, blah blah blah, chopping it up. So we're done smoking. He's like, okay, let's go get the money. So like, that's how he said, okay, let's go get the money. So he had this other friend with him, and my nigga was missing teeth all right here. Like, this whole row of teeth was gone, you feel me? And it was kind of like a drop-off thing. It's like they must do this shit for real. Like, they do this shit all the time. So he was like, oh, he'll take you up to the part right here, and then you're gonna walk around and go to the ATMs up there. So he ended up leaving us, and then we were walking with the other guy at this point. So we're like, okay, whatever. So we get to the ATM and we're about to get the money out. I think we owed them, like, we had 300,000 pesos, and I think we owed them like either 100,000 pesos more or 200,000 pesos more. I really can't remember because I was really like, eh. But so we're going to get the money or whatever. So we're asking him again, like, how much is it? And then he was like 700,000 pesos. Now, for a fact, I know 700,000 pesos is $261 in American dollars. Mind you, my nigga, we only had 3 blunts. And no, 2. And then the one he gave us extra, he really added that to our tab. So we're like, what? Oh, hell no. So me, I'm like, oh God, help. I'm in a whole different country, and we're about to pay $261 for some treat. Mind you, I'm not a heavy smoker like that. I don't smoke like that. I'm an occasional smoker. I smoke here and there, social smoker sometimes, but sometimes I can smoke by myself, but it's nothing like everyday blow down type of thing. I probably smoke like twice a month or something like that, if that's really a big if. So it was nothing like that. So to know that we were gonna have to pay $261 for some weed was like, oh shit. And we had a budget for our trip too, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, fuck. So my friend was like, oh
hell no, y'all can take this shit back. Y'all can take this shit back, okay? Take this shit back.
And she was like, here you go. And then this is when it got like, okay. He was like, oh, this is business. This is Cartagena. We don't do that. And then we were like, oh shit. We just looking at each other. I'm like, all right, just chill. I'm like, let's just split it half. We're just gonna take this L. We're gonna take this loss because we're in a whole different country. We don't know nothing about this country. So let's just do that. And we don't even know about the area we're in. You know what I'm saying? It's just us 2 girls, you know. And at this point, it's like, what, 11:30 at this point? So I'm just like, let's just give it to him. So, you know, my card doesn't work. So I'm cash apping her my money. So we go to the ATM. We try to put her card in for ATM. She gotta get the money out. The ATM is not fucking working. Oh, God. We're like, what the heck? Her card, they won't let her take no money out. Telling her that it's declined. She's looking at her account. She has money in her account. So we're just like, what the heck? So the guy kept coming in like, y'all got it yet? Y'all got it yet? And we're like, no. He's like, what's going on? We're like, we're handling it. Like, just chill. So at this point, we're like, fuck. Like, my heart is beating. I'm like, I'm about to die. They about to cut my ass up. Okay. And like, I felt so helpless because I could not help her at all because my card does not work. I can put it in the machine 1,000,000 times and it's still, nothing's gonna happen and nothing's gonna do anything for me. So I'm just like, oh my God, this is the worst time of my fucking life. Like, literally the worst time of my life. So she tried calling her bank. Mind you, she's on the phone with her bank for a good like 10 minutes going through prompts and all this stuff. So her bank ends up telling her like, hey, you have a cap on your card. Like, you can only spend this much amount of money in a certain amount of you know, in the, you know, a 24-hour period. And she was like, can you lift the band for me or whatever, blah 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 blah. And they were like, yeah, we can try and see if it works type shit. So we tried it and we were able to get 100,000 pesos out. So we were like, okay, cool, let's just give him this 100,000 pesos, tell him that this is all we're giving him and that's that. So we go up, we tell him like, hey, this is all we're giving you, like, this is it, this is all we have. He's like, where's the rest of the money? Like, I need the rest of the money. It's 700,000. He was counting the money. He was like, 700,000, 700,000. He just kept saying that. So we're like, fuck. Damn, come on, man, just fuck with us. So I'm like, so my friend starts to get pissed at this time. She's like,
you know what, you're really making me mad. Like, she's throwing up her hands like, you're really making me mad. You're making me upset. It's my birthday. Like,
she was getting hype. And so I'm like, yo, just chill. And he's over here telling her like, yo, chill, yo, chill, and all this other stuff. So I was like, let's just try to go to another ATM. So we were walking to go to another ATM, and I guess that other guy that we talked to first, the one who told us like, oh, I like your personality and shit, he's like the boss. So we ended up meeting him again. So I guess he must have texted him like, they playing with your fucking money type shit, like, come up here. So we was like, he came up to us, like, hey, like being all friendly and stuff. And he was like, what's going on? And we're like, so we have a cap on our bank account and it's not letting us pull out any money, you know what I'm saying? So this is all we have to give right now. And then he was like, oh, let's try another ATM. He's like, it's not about trying the ATMs. Like, the cap is on the money. That's it. That is it. We can do no more. Like, that's it. And he's like,
so when am I gonna get my money?
I almost damn pissed on myself. I literally almost pissed on myself. I was like, oh fuck. I'm just like, oh shit. And rewind real quick. So at the point where my friend was that she was getting mad and stuff like that, she was like, bro, let's just call an Uber and let's just run in the Uber and hop off and drive off. I was like, if this was our last day here, I would have done that shit, but we're gonna be here for the next 4 days. I don't want to be looking at my back, waiting to see if somebody remembers me and ready to cut my fucking head off. So I'm like, let's not do that. So let's fast forward to back where we were, where we're gonna get money. We're like, so I'm like, I'm holding my friend's hand. I'm just like, you know what? Let's just try it again. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. So we went to another ATM, still not working card decline. We're in the ATM for like 10 minutes. They're like looking like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And we're just like, so she calls her bank again. She was like, please, can I take out another 100,000 pesos? Please, I really need to, type stuff. So she's like, okay, cool. You can take, she was like, I'll try it again for you. So she tried it again and it worked. And so we had all the money. So we gave the guy the money, but he was like, follow me, follow me. So we went to this little, there's a clock tower. It's a beautiful little clock tower that's over there, and then you can walk under it. So he took us over there and he was like, okay, thank you. And he was like, pieces around, you know what I'm saying? Don't take weed from anybody else, only us, blah 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 blah, and have a good time in Cartagena. And then had the audacity to kiss us on the cheek. We were just like, so we were just ready to go home. My friend had called an Uber or whatever, and she was like, let's just walk. But she wanted to, first of all, she called the Uber from where we were at, but she just wanted to get away from them, that she was actually walking away from where they were at and then walking down. So I guess like we were walking for so long, she was just really upset and really frustrated. She just wanted to walk, but that's why I don't know why she called the Uber first, but that's none of my business. And so she was just really upset. She was really frustrated, and she was like, I just want to walk, I just want to walk. So we ended up like losing our Uber because we couldn't find where they're at and they couldn't find where we at, because we went a whole different way. And so we lost the Uber. So at this point, I don't know if Uber shuts down at a certain time in Colombia, but it must shut down at a certain time in Colombia. Like, it has to. Like, there's no way that it doesn't. So it must have shut down at a certain time. And so I don't have Uber on my phone. I only have Lyft, and there's no Lyft in Colombia. There's only Uber. So at this point, we're like, dang, her phone's about to die. Like, her phone is on 2%. My phone is still alive, but you know what I'm saying, there's nothing we can do. And so we didn't know that their Uber shut down early, because we kept trying to like request one, and it would say like looking for drivers, and then it would come back and tell us that there's no drivers in the area, or there's no drivers available. So at this point, we're screwed, right? We gave all the money that we had to the drug dealers, got finessed, phone dying where we could use our card to like get a ride, because we can't get in the cab now because we don't have any cash, like literally $0 in cash. So phone's dying with the person who has Uber. I only have Lyft. So at this point, we're like, we're screwed. For 30 minutes from where we actually have our Airbnb, 30 minutes, right? So at this point, you know how you try to laugh to keep from crying? That's what we're doing. You know, doing all that. We're like, we would just, it would never be random. Like, we would be trying to figure out what to do, and we would literally burst out randomly, like, right. And so we're just literally laughing to keep from crying. And so I'm like, we're calling our friend, but she's in the airport, you know, like, hey, can you please call us the Uber? Like, here's the address that we're at right now. Can you call us the Uber so we can get back to the place or whatever? She's like, okay, I'm gonna try it for you guys. She tried it. She's like, it's not working. It's saying that there's nothing available or whatever. So we're like, oh my god, oh my god. Mind you, at this point, it's like 12 something. At this point, it is 12 something. You feel me? So we're just like, we're in a whole different country. We have no form of transportation. We are 30 minutes from where we're supposed to be going. What can we do now? Like, what are we supposed to do? And like the service, Oh my god, the service out there is horrible. It's horrible. It's, you need to be hooked to Wi-Fi type of thing. And so we're not in a place where we have Wi-Fi to like find out different, you know, routes to take and stuff like that. So we're here. At this point, we're still in the like, we're like, okay, in the way that Colombia set up, like the ATMs, they're like, you know, the ATMs that you can like walk into and then y'all go ahead and, you know, stick your card in and stuff like that. Like all their ATMs like that. None of their ATMs are like out in the open and stuff like that. So we're sitting, it's like a telephone booth type of thing. So we're just in there. We're just like, what do we do now? Like, what can we possibly do now? Like, oh gosh. So then I called my boyfriend. I'm just like, hey babe, because I was like, can you download Uber for me and then try to see, because I was able to talk to him. Mind you, the minutes, honestly, I don't know if my mom has even gotten the bill yet from how much minutes I used out there. Like, we had unlimited data out there and unlimited roaming, but 25 cents per minute that you spoke. So I'm on the phone with him. I didn't even care at this point. I'm like, we're stranded. I don't care. So I'm like, can you please call us the Uber? Trying to give him the where we're at. He puts in the thing. I try to put in the, try to give him the information that I had about where we were, and he's putting in the coordinates, and he's like, it's saying y'all are in Venezuela. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. So when he tried it, it didn't work. So it would say like, oh, so we finally got it to where we were able to see where he was able to see where we were at, and then try to call the Uber to where we wanted to go. And then all of a sudden he was just like, oh yeah, it said there's no drivers. So we're like, okay, at this point we're like, Uber must close at a certain time here because there's a bunch of cabs, but Uber is just not working. So we're like, we're gonna have to walk home. Like, we're just gonna have to walk home. That's it. We're just gonna have to walk. So mind you, I told you the internet was trash, right? Unless you're connected to Wi-Fi. So we're trying to like remotely remember how to get back from just like visually remembering how we came there in the first place, because the internet was not working. We put in the address that said we was in Venezuela. Like, I don't know why it said that. So we're walking, trying to figure out how to get there, you know. We're like, do we go left? Do we go right? Like, which way are we supposed to go? So my friend, she really remembered most of the way. So we're just driving up. People are in carriages, cabs, like telling us, ooh, come here. Like, you think the cat calling is here from anybody in here? Oh, it's a way different story over there. Like, oh, come get in our car, come here, come get in our carriage, we'll take you home, like blah blah blah. Buses coming by like wee, springing horns and stuff like that. Like, I'm good, bro, I'm good. So we're walking. It's a long journey. We have on like shoes that are not made for walking, so now our feet hurt. So we're going like walking, and so we're feeling like we're getting closer, right? So we're like, okay, we're getting closer. There's like places that kind of look like where we were staying, but not really, but they look like the area. So we're like, okay, cool. So there's doormans and everywhere in Colombia. Like, there's doormans at every like apartment place, and if there's locks, you have to like call in, you know, or press the little button to speak, like everywhere, especially in the area that we were staying in. So we're like, okay, let's ask this person if we can ask him questions. So we're like, preguntas, and then he was like, yeah. And then we were like, oh, can you help us find where we're trying to go? And the one guy was like, no. And then he closed the door. So then we're walking up a little further, and then this one guy was like, we were like, let's ask him. So then we asked this other guy, and he was like, oh, he'll help us or whatever. He was like telling us, so basically the street that we're walking on, the side of the street that we're walking on, he's like, that's Mal. He was like, don't go on that street. He was like, I'll let y'all walk through here and go to the other side and walk on the other street. He's like, y'all are not that far. He's like, you go up like a couple blocks and then you should see where you're staying. So we're like, okay, cool. So we're walking. The journey is so long. I'm just like, we're not gonna make it. People still cat calling us. The ambulance, it was even cat calling the ambulance. It's like, oh, mommy, no, I'm just trying to get home. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get home. So we're just walking, and then I see a place like that I took in a video. I see the place like plastered. I'm like, yo, we're almost there. So we're like walking. We get there. Oh my gosh. And then we finally made it, y'all. And I was almost about to give up on Colombia. I promise you, I was about to give up. I'm about to find me a flight back home the same day, okay? I'm going home. I am going home today. No, nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me. I'm going home today. And so yeah, we got back and we just had to sleep it off, and at least we had trees, you know, we had a couple of trees, you know what I'm saying, and we was gonna smoke it all. because we paid so much for it, you know what I'm saying? But we just got back home. We were restless. I had a headache. I was tired. Our friend ended up coming. We ended up telling her the whole story, and she said we're crazy. She would have never paid them, blah 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 blah. But overall, it was an amazing time. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening to my crazy little story. If you want the good side of Colombia and, you know, all the fun things that we did, let's get to this video to 70 likes. Let's get this video to 70 likes, and I'll give you a little update on a more better experience in Colombia. But I've also honestly had an amazing time. It's so beautiful there, and I would definitely go again. I know what not to do, okay? But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and go ahead and leave comments down below if you've been to a different country and you tried the same stuff that we tried. I'd love to hear y'all stories. All right, well, double lugging, I'm out.